So we have a super fight for the ages in front of us with JDM versus Makhachev, as you can see on screen. This is one of the biggest fights the UFC has ever put on, and this is going to deter a lot in the whole landscape of the sport. And I'm here to say I'm picking Jack Della Maddalena, and I'm picking Jack Della Maddalena via finish. Now, when this fight was first announced, I was really like, fuck, I don't know, like, I was kind of like in a mind space of Makhachev's got the lighter man skills. I never ever like betting against Makhachev. I never have actually, if I'm being honest. I've never bet against Makhachev in my life, and this is the first time I ever felt like he's fighting someone he's not going to have a weight advantage over. Now let's be real here. He didn't and wasn't going to have a weight advantage over Arman Tsarukyan. So the whole weight advantage argument does kind of collapse on itself when you bring up Arman Tsarukyan. In my opinion, anyway, and he beat Arman Tsarukyan before. So the whole weight bully thing was kind of in my head of like, yeah, he had it over Volk. He kind of was bigger than Oliveira. He was bigger than Poirier. He was bigger than a lot of these guys, but I was like, he's not fought someone who's got the level of striking. And I rewatched the Volkanovski first fight today. Volk hit him a lot. Volk hit him a lot. Volk hit him. Poirier hit him a lot. Volk hit him a lot. DP Dustin Poirier hit him a lot. He seems to be vulnerable to getting hit. His boxing defense isn't great, but I also rewatched both of them and realized, damn, this guy's got hands. And I want to make a statement here and say this is probably the best boxer. Actually, no, fuck it, it is. Actually, I'm going to stand by this. Islam Makhachev is the best boxer JDM has fought. Islam Makhachev is the best boxer that Jack Della Maddalena has fought. Who else is there? Gilbert Burns, jiu-jitsu practitioner. Kevin Holland, Makhachev outboxes him. Bilal Muhammad, a grappler. And you look at the way these guys are fighting JDM, they're not going to have the same style of takedown. And Gilbert Burns had a lot of success, but that was like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, which is pretty insane to think. Or maybe it's a year ago, I can't remember. I think it was a year ago actually. And Gilbert Burns was fighting Jack. I think Jack had like a broken arm or something, so I'm not going to go too hard on him for that. That was the fight. I was like, fuck, like Bilal Muhammad's going to have loads of success here. From being honest, I thought Bilal was going to run through him with the level of takedown defense I saw against Burns. I was like, fuck, it's not good. But you look, I rewatched the Bilal fight as well. Bilal didn't shoot as many takedowns as I would like, but I also kind of think Bilal isn't the type of guy like Merab to spam a load of takedowns. He's kind of like get in your face and get a takedown that way. Um, Whereas Merab is just constantly gonna do it. Just continuously fucking just try and get you down no matter what. But Bilal will engage with the striking. Makhachev's going to be the best boxer JDM has fought, and I just thought about that, and I'm gonna make it that might do well. But it does bring up the question of what's JDM going to be like when someone who's got very good strikings in his face, because this is going to be the best boxer that he's fought. And I feel like Makhachev definitely is the best grappler that JDM has fought. So he's fighting two of the best that he's fought. But this is the best boxer Makhachev has fought. This is the best person with the best takedown defense that Makhachev has fought. JDM's got bulletproof ability to get back to his feet. He always has. His hands, I've said he's a top 5 boxer in UFC for fucking years now. I've always said he beats Ian Gary. I've always said he starches Ian Gary. I've said that on this channel. I've said this to my friends. I've said this so many times. And I feel like this is quite a good fight to show how good JDM is. Like I said, top 5 boxer in the UFC, in my opinion. He's shown that in Bilal. He's shown that across his career. Remember when he chinned Randy Brown into oblivion? He had moments on the feet against Kevin Holland. Even if you just go back and look at some of the highlights, you'll see how quick he hits, and his combinations are fierce. He throws combinations very fast, effectively, and gets in your face. He doesn't exactly have bulletproof takedown defense, but he has very good ability to not get controlled and get back to his feet. We saw Volk have success with that against Makhachev as well. He had success as regards. There was a few times where Makhachev tried to take him down. There was one especially where Makhachev had his back and he tried to like throw him. Volkanovski got a hip turned and then he got back to his feet. Volk's a beast. Volk's a beast, and Volk's small. Volk's small. Volk doesn't have the hands of JDM. With Makhachev, he didn't really have to worry about much coming into his face. Pause. He didn't really have much coming, towards him. He didn't have to worry about heavy hands. Poirier had to kind of worry about that as well. That's why he was able to do very well in the first round, I think. I feel like the Poirier fight, a lot of people have a conception that Poirier was like it was like really tight, but Makhachev was. I rewatched it. Like Makhachev was clearly winning. Am I the only one that kind of thought that? Am I the only one that thought that? I rewatched that today. I was like, Makhachev's Poirier had moments. I feel like I gave Poirier rounds. But I don't think I gave him rounds. I can get 1 round. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. I watched it the other day, but I was in the kind of mindset of I want to give Makhachev as much credit as I can here. So I was a little bit biased. But in my head, I was just like, Makhachev's doing so much better than I originally thought with this fight. I thought he looked shit in this fight, but he was outboxing Poirier in so many moments. And he had so much success. He was finding so many shots. And then I rewatched JDM versus Bilal. That's when I was like, okay, Makhachev's going to be a lot better at shooting than this. Makhachev's takedown is going to be a lot better. I think the key for Makhachev here is going to be kicks, and it's going to be using his punches to land his takedowns. When he's landing a combination, that's when you shoot in. Makhachev, Khabib, even like Ilya as well, they do their best work up against the cage. Now, Ilya does his best work with strikes up against the cage. JDM does his best work with strikes up against the cage. I've seen so many fights. Makhachev's never really backed up against the cage, so that's something I don't think is going to be talked about too much. Bro, I just love this fight. This is one of my dream fights, if I'm being honest with you. Like, this is just. I can't wait for this fucking fight. Like, it's just banging, bro. I love it. I love every second about talking about it. If a comment is up and someone comments about it, I'm just hyped to reply. I just love this fight. I love it. Where was I? Yeah, so JDM does his best work up against the cage. Makhachev does his best takedowns up against the cage. Now, I don't really I saw him obviously he got the trip in the middle of the cage with Poirier. I remember he grabbed his foot, swung him. It was the most beautiful takedown in UFC history, in my opinion. One of the most beautiful submissions. But as regards to takedown, best takedown I have ever seen was that. One of the best submissions I've ever seen. Because that's what led to it it was a masterpiece, and that's not talked about enough. It's not talked about. People just say, "Oh yeah, DP was landing here. DP was landing hands on him, bro." It's not that simple. It's not that simple. If if you want to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, DP was landing hands on him," Islam submitted him. Islam got his back in the first for like 3 minutes. Islam was out boxing Poirier in a lot of moments. So don't give me this narrative. If you JDM fans and stuff like that, people in general are going to be like, JDM will land hands. I agree with you, but you have to rewatch the fight first. Go back and it's on YouTube for free. That's how I saw it. So it's not as simple as DP was landing vicious combinations that had Makhachev rocked so many times. It's not like that at all. But why I'm saying that Jack Della Maddalena finish Islam Makhachev, Makhachev used to be in a bigger opponent. I feel like he's going to have to exert more energy getting his takedowns, and JDM's is so good at getting back to his feet. I hate betting against Makhachev because he's probably my second favorite active fighter in the sport at the moment. Which is fucking, I hate betting against Makhachev. Like, I want Makhachev to win this fight, but I have to be honest with what I say, and it creates such a good conversation here. Um, JDM's going to be able to get back up off Makhachev's takedowns. I don't think that's an outrageous shout. We've seen, JDM get up off it before, and we've seen people get up off Makhachev's takedowns before. It's not like he has invincible takedowns. It's not like he has invincible takedowns at all. It's kind of one of those things where he's just really good at getting you there. When he has you in a good position, he'll keep you there. But there are moments where you can't scramble out, or maybe you might hip thrust a certain way to get up off the takedowns, if you know what I mean. That's where I feel like JDM's going to have success. That's where I feel like JDM's going to have success. And that's where I feel like Jack Madeleine, he's moving up. He's going to be a heavier guy. Jack Madeleine is going to put it on him. He's going to get him out there in the fourth round. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.